and my guest tonight is Dr. Rita Louise. This has been a great show. If you have missed any of it, you're going to have to go back and pick us up on iHeart, iTunes, or Google Play because this is astounding. I will post the links in my Facebook when we get through. But Rita, where do you want to go now? This is all about you. What would you like to cover for this last segment?
Okay. Well, I think it is, something I started bringing up before one of the breaks that we didn't come back to. And, when we were talking about Columbus and that level of programming that we've all experienced, and it's not just like the programming that we get in school, but the programming that society imposes on us. I mean, by the time we're in kindergarten, we know what a red light means and a green light means. And, we know all of this stuff because it's been downloaded to us over, years of practice and education. And I just don't think people recognize how much programming we have taken on.
Yes.
But without that programming, then who would we be? Would we still be human? Because in my opinion, it is that programming. I just read The Four Agreements by Louise, whatever, and he called it domestication. And that's what got me to read his book, was because in my E.T. Chronicles book, I talk about how, humans seem more domesticated than anything else. And, I guess the Stepping Out of Eden book really delves into how we were domesticated, and how we were programmed. And is it this level of programming that we've experienced over thousands and thousands and thousands of years what separates us from all of the other animals and makes us be human?
And
that's kind of, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that part was so interesting because when things started changing in humans, it was something I had not really thought that much about, to be honest. Not in that way, not to that degree, but it really blew my mind. And I didn't even get, as far as I was wanting to. And it was still just bizarre to my mindset.
I mean, it's kind of hard to believe because we've been so indoctrinated into this system, so that by the time we're adults, we're fully incorporated and we think that we're independent thinkers or that we're free. This morning I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about, having choices. And it's like, what choices? We were talking about supermarkets. They closed down a mom and pop supermarket near where he lives. And so now he has to drive like 15 miles to get to any store. And he goes, well, they're taking away choices. It's like, okay, well, they took away that choice to go to that store, but you go in the store and there really aren't any choices. One, you have to get what's on the shelf.
That's true.
And then two, you go from store to store and it's pretty much the same stuff on the shelf. Unless you go to
the same stuff.
And so, if you're doing home repair stuff and you're getting like lighting fixtures from Lowe's, how many other gajillion people have those same lighting fixtures in their house because they only have so many?
Or Wayfair because everybody sees them on HGTV and has to have that. I mean,
exactly.
It's programming that makes you follow that herd.
But it's also that somebody else is making choices and telling you this is good. We like this, Converse are in, high tops or low tops. You know what I mean? It's,
Exactly.
do you roll up the cuffs of your jeans because that's cool? Somewhere somebody is making those decisions and then making that stuff available. Like I like jeans. Okay, this is just a little personal peeve. I like jeans that are either like a bootleg or, a bell bottom. I've taken a lot of dance classes in my life, so I have some pretty healthy calves for being, as old as I am. I don't have stick legs. And so the jeans that they sell now are all these like peg leg, straight leg things that, I guess they look okay, but I'm not totally digging them. I would like to have like a little flare at the bottom of my pants to cover up my socks that might not match my shoes. And you know what I mean?
I do.
That's just my that's what I would like. And you cannot find a pair of boot cut or bell bottom type jeans. Everything in the stores right now is all this straight leg stuff. And it's just like, so now I have a closet with a bunch of straight leg stuff because I can't find any other pants to get.
Well, I will tell you after the show where to go find those.
Okay, cool.
But because I like to wear boots under my jeans. I like them over my jeans too, but sometimes you need the ones under them.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, the programming thing, to get back to that, it does go down to, what kind of butters are there. And now it's going to censorship with Facebook deciding if you're a real person or not when you've had an account for 20 years. Well, not 20. I don't think they've been there 20 years. But, all of a sudden, dissension is not allowed. And that's a scary thing because 1984 was not supposed to be an operations manual.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it is.
Or they take your post down, or they put you in Facebook jail, or they make it so that, well, you can post, but no one sees anything from your feed.
Well, it's like tonight when I was trying to, yesterday and today when I was trying to invite friends to enjoy this show, they let me invite 20. Not even the 50 that you're supposed to get as a minimum. Normally I can invite 500 people to a show. Blew my mind. And I often think it's due to topics. So if I'm having somebody who
Well, that's because Facebook doesn't like me.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, they're probably not going to like me after I write my note to them about that. But they took my money to boost it, but they wouldn't let me invite my friends to it. So that's a discussion to be had too. I thought that was interesting, and it really peeved me.
When you start putting money where it's going, it's like it should work the way it's advertised.
Absolutely. Well, what do you have coming up next? What's your next big project that you're working on?
Well, I just had this book come out.
Yes.
I've been restoring this historic home, and I just finished doing the last inside room of the house and had a housewarming party. Only took me 4 years and had a housewarming party a week ago on Saturday. So I'm kind of in a little bit of transition mode right now.
Yes.
I know that I want to do some more writing, because you write a book and then it takes you however many months to go through and edit it and do all that process. So I'm really ready to sit down and do some more writing, maybe create some more videos. I don't really have a list yet because that's Monday's project because I just been running around and, just got back in town from being in New York, hanging out with Tom Conwell. And so I'm like, okay, this new phase starts on Monday. So I just been like pre-planning. I do have another book that I started kind of before I did the Stepping Out of Eden book. And I might go back to that, but that won't be for a little bit. I have like 17 pages written. So, but it's just in its infancy. But I just felt like doing the Stepping Out of Eden book needed to come first. So that's why I put that one on hold. So, and then I always have like projects at my house to do. So, that keeps me really out of trouble.
That's a never ending thing.
No, not when you have a really old house. No, there's always something.
My house is not very old, but I have all the things that nobody took with them when they left in my basement. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, my dad and my grandmother's things that came when he crossed. And so, yes, lots of stuff. That's my projects. And trying to write and trying to blog and book guests and research guests and read all the books. So it's a wonderful thing. I love my job. I get to meet people like you.
Same here.
It's cool.
I mean, I love doing the work that I do, and I'm glad that I'm able to do it, and that the universe supports me in doing it.
Yes.
So it makes me feel blessed. I was talking to a friend, well, not really a friend, somebody, well, regardless, and they asked me to send them a resume. And I'm like, well, I don't really, well, no, it's like I haven't had to have a resume in over 20 years because I've worked for myself. So It's kind of like, well, here's my 5 websites. Does that count?
And you can read about me on all of them.
Yeah, or type me into, Google. You'll find my stuff everywhere. I mean, why do you need a resume? You can just look me up,
Was that
apparently that wasn't the right answer. No, it was a more personal thing. Yeah. And it was just like, seriously? And then they just were like, bullshit. Ooh, excuse my French, sorry.
That's okay.
And it was kind of like, sorry, I've worked for myself for 20 years. Why would I need a resume?
That's an interesting situation to find yourself in.
What, working for yourself?
Having to provide a resume after having done so because, I'm sure that my work record shows corporate climber and then disappeared off the face of the earth. So, and now this. Quite a step. I'm nothing like that corporate guru I once was. And thank God for it. But, I am so appreciative of you taking your time and giving it to myself and my listeners.
Well, and I appreciate you having me. So if people are looking for any of my books or CDs, obviously they're available, on Amazon or any, online bookseller. They're also available on my website, soulhealer.com, soulhealer.com, soulhealer.com. And anything that you do purchase from me comes signed directly from me, no extra charge. So
that's wonderful. I know somebody who is going to be grabbing those. Every book in her library, I believe, is signed.
Cool.
If she didn't get it signed when she received it, then she has gone to the effort to meet the authors and get a signature. So
nice.
And I think that's pretty cool.
So, that would be cool.
I was lucky enough to interview Jim Mars shortly before he passed, and I was so honored. But I had met him in California and gotten a signed book, and I'm so glad that I did because he turned out to be such a wonderful man. You never know, when you go to meet someone like that. And So now I have that book, and it just warms my heart when I pick it up and start reading it again. So,
Mm-hmm.
because I reread, I read everything.